The projectile motion simulation tool is available at my website in the description for a limited time, or once that's down on itch.io for download or in web. So this is where my project stands right now. You have a control panel. So this is a projectile simulation tool. It simulates projectile motion. It's a concept in physics which basically dictates how a projectile will follow a path through the air, or actually through the no air, because it's high school physics. Nobody cares about air resistance. So you can see, you can launch things. They will launch, they will leave a little trail, they will leave a little marker for their position. See that they all have a y value of 0. They should. Otherwise, the simulation has broken. You've got that you can launch a projectile and you can watch it travel through the air. What's great, though, about this tool, which, and I was building it basically as a addition to FETS. I don't remember what that stands for, but PHET, it's a website full of simulation tools for education. What they don't have is this slider, which I can move and go forward and backwards through time. And I'm very proud of this. It allows you to look at a simulation at any point in time and really understand what's going on. I can stop and I can look at, say, its velocity. I can hide its position. I can see what's up with it. I can watch how the velocity changes from positive to negative as it goes over the peak. Positive, negative, really nice. And I can always unpause it again. So that's one thing which I'm super proud of here. All right, so you've got the control panel with velocity, position, launch angle, launch speed. And then we've got the initial velocity in the data tab in X and Y. You can see that's the same here because I launched at a 45-degree angle. If I launch at, say, a 62-degree angle, you'll see that the X velocity is way lower than the Y velocity, and that's because, as you can see by this launch angle, more force is being put into its vertical motion than its horizontal motion. So that all makes sense. Maximum height is just the highest point that it will reach in the course of the simulation. Let's see, so that's 12.24. Just about now, we've reached the peak. Oh, interesting. Here's a rounding error. Simulation is plagued with these. I cannot stand it. Sometimes the second decimal point will be slightly inaccurate. So you can see here it's 12.24, here it's 12.23. We never actually reached 12.24. How terribly unfortunate. It might also be that the time step, which is 0.02 seconds, actually skipped over the maximum height. That could be it. May never know. It doesn't really matter that much for my purposes, but it's still a little inconsistent. Time of flight, right here, 3.16 seconds, so that's the amount of time that the projectile remains in the simulation. You can see that the slider ends at 3.16, that's where it hits the ground. That's where everything's fine and dandy. All right, and then this is more of the current stuff. You've got the current x velocity, which you can see always remains the same. That's just a property of projectile motion. Without air resistance, there's nothing to slow it down or speed it up, so it always keeps the same velocity. Y velocity is different. Y velocity is always being affected by gravity, so it starts high and slows down, gets lower and lower and lower until it's being pulled down. Current height is just pretty simple. It's the current height. Can also be shown just basically on position. Here's another inconsistency, 7.61 versus 7.62. Who do you believe? I don't know. It's up to you. It's extremely annoying, though. But, so spacebar, or the button to launch. So that's about where it was at the end of my senior project. And then this evening I decided to add some features just to make it more like a game, because I wasn't happy with it as it was. So here we go. Game mode enabled. You can see I've got a score, and I have a little target graphic. So basically the goal of this, quite simple, hit the target. Now, since my most recent shot, you can see where it arced and landed, is very, very close to the target. I'm going to try to slightly reduce my velocity to 16.5 maybe. See where that goes. All right, indirect hit, you can see that I hit this bit, so I got a score of 2. Now if I go for the next one, I'm probably just going to tone down the angle. Oh, this is going to overshoot. No, direct hit. All right, so that's worth 3 points, but since every shot subtracts 1 point, I only went up to 4. Let's see. So I could just fire it again and get an indirect hit for 2, but I'm going to try to slightly increase it. I can just do that by lowering its angle again. interesting. I completely failed. I just realized that that was an old trail, actually. All right. So now I'm down a point, score 3, go up, super indirect hit, still score 3 because I just broke even. But then it respawned in the same position, so I can just go like that. 1 indirect hit, score 1. So, you know, super basic stuff, but it makes it more interesting and exciting. That's basically all for this tool. You can always download it in the description on itch.io or play it on itch.io. I also have it on my website. It probably won't be there forever, so I wouldn't count on that. And there we go. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, gamers.